Last night, we told you the chilling story of a Quebec woman arrested for hacking into people's personal computers and spying.
We learned today that
The only question is, what was the involvement in Donald Trump or by Donald Trump and his cronies in the process? And that's what bothers me.
UK's National Health Service demanding
the website broadcast pictures
have no idea what it's like out there. When I pick up an NFT for 25 years, and they're holding their jobs, and these firms are going to go
inside a little shop in NY.
They know nothing.
Understand that actually it's chock full of wisdom that leads to life change.
with all the pain in the world, we wanted to be a place where people could experience the love of Christ. LifeBridge started because we wanted to be a light in the darkness. So 6 years ago, we started the church here with just the simple desire to be light in the darkness, to offer hope through the message of Christ. Now, at the time, we didn't know fully what that meant. We just knew that we wanted people that, from the minute they encountered us on a Sunday morning, we wanted them to feel loved, to feel accepted, to offer something for their kids, to do something that they would engage in the adult worship, and ultimately to be able to share the beautiful, simple, powerful message of how they could receive forgiveness for their sins and enter into eternal life through what Christ did, not through any religious act of their own. And we set out on that journey, and it's been a nonstop ride ever since. Man, it was hard in the beginning. We showed up a lot of Sundays and the video screens weren't working. Sometimes the sound system didn't work. Sometimes the doors were locked, and we just had to go through it. But God opened the way and opened the doors. So within the first 5 months of being a church, we had an opportunity to look at a facility that no church that's 5 months old should even be looking at. And we were able to get into this facility off of Superior Road, which is like it would cost us like $4 million to build if we were to build it out. We were able to get into it for $60,000. It's in this facility that we really saw the vision of becoming a church that unchurched people love to attend. So when we realized that the vision was actually working is the first time we had a baptism service at this location. We had 22 people make a decision to follow Christ. And that was the moment for me when I realized, wow, this is really working and God's really on the move. So we moved from Flat Rock to this facility. It's now another church. And we got to a place where we realized just 2.5 years into this building that we were out of space. And so we began to pray and we began to look for what God had next. And He absolutely shocked us with what was coming next. So once again, we had a huge God-sized opportunity to move into a facility that was 3 times the size of the facility we were in. We rallied the troops, we talked to the church, we cast the vision, and so many people made a commitment and a sacrifice, both with their time, with their sacrifice, with the sweat that it took to get in this facility, and also financial commitments to make this vision a reality. One of the things we've learned over these years is this concept of being greater than. Philippians chapter 2, verse 3 says to consider others greater than yourself. And we've realized that there is a direct connection between the sacrifice that we make and the impact that we're able to make. Once we launched into this facility, we just saw people come in by the droves. I mean, we're able to open a bowling alley during our services on Sunday morning. Once you do that, people walk into the church for the first time and all their misconceptions about church just go right out the window. We have an incredible children's space. We have an auditorium where we can literally reach thousands each weekend. It completely shocked us, but we became the 30th fastest growing church in America. We saw people from pagan backgrounds, from agnostic, atheist backgrounds, people that maybe went to church when they were a kid but didn't really make their faith their own, that came into this facility and really found faith in a relationship with God. So we had just got into this facility and we're growing and we're touching people's lives and great things are happening, and we started to think down the road about maybe campusing in the future. But just 3 weeks later, a pastor of a church called me up, and this opportunity that we weren't even looking for, probably weren't even ready for, God began to lay on our hearts. And he talked about how their church was was not reaching the people in Monroe County the way they wanted to, and they just really believed that we could do better with what they had. And so 3 months from that date, so just under 4 months from the time we cast the vision to start a new church, the Monroe Christian Church dissolved and gave us this property, which is worth over $400,000. So that was our open door. We couldn't believe it, and we couldn't believe that it was happening so quickly, and so we launched in here. We've been trying to kind of figure out and understand exactly what it means to be a church with 2 different campuses, and we have just seen so many incredible things happen down here. So as we move towards the future, there's just no limit to what I think that God can accomplish. And as we look over the next year, we've got some big vision to continue being that same church that is just simply trying to be a church that unchurched people love to attend. As we move towards the future, what we want to do is we want to really launch this Monroe campus. We have gotten a good start. We've started to build some teams, but ultimately, we know that there's a lot more that needs to be done, and we need to move to a better, bigger facility that can offer the real LifeBridge experience. We also, we are going to be focusing both here in Monroe and at our Taylor campus on discipleship. We don't want to just reach the thousands of people that we reach each year, but we want to do this. We want to imagine a world where not only are we reaching broadly, but we're also making deep disciples of every individual that engages in the message of Christ. And then finally, we just want to be in a position to do whatever were to happen. Whatever comes down the road, we want to do whatever's going to happen, and we want to be ready. We want to be staffed, we want to be financially ready, and we want to be in a position where if God opens up another door, that we are ready to take advantage of that. So we are trying to be a light in the darkness, and we ask you to join us in this mission, and we'd like to ask you to consider financially contributing to the mission of LifeBridge Church.